Man, what a year! I'm actually celebrating my first year in this role here at AGC Austin, September 2022 to September 23. To make one full year. I was going through and looking and going, hey, what all did we do? How do we go back and take a look at this year, kind of a year in review? And I thought, hey, let me pull this up. It might be a little bit fun. So I kind of pulled up my calendar, went through everything, and said, well, how did we start off? Well, I started off again in mid-September. And first thing we did in October, held our first safety meeting with our safety committee, which we had later changed the name to match our national standards, so our safety forum. So in October, we welcomed the new safety director. I sat down with everybody and said, "Hey, here I am. Let's see who all you are, and how do we go about doing everything? What do you want to do?" November, we had our safety culture in construction. That was a talk given by our OSHA area rep. Mr. Casey came in and talked to everybody on safety culture in construction. Then in December, we didn't hold a meeting, but we held our chairman's meeting. We had elected two chairmen, so chairman and co-chairman for our safety agenda. And we were going to plan out what we wanted to do for the next year. Starting in January, we started with a year in review. We went back and looked over the past year. What did we do? What do we want to do? And then we also talked about prepping for our February postings and our OSHA 300. In February, we did a little bit different there. Again, we did a CPR refresher for our chapter members. All of our safety professionals that attend the meetings, they may teach this all the time, but how often are they getting down and practicing CPR? So we broke out the CPR dummies, everybody put hands on, and we did a CPR refresher. It wasn't a certification, it was just a refresher for our safety professionals that are attending our meetings. I got a good review out of that. And then in March, we held our hard hat versus safety helmets talk. We brought in some of our leading manufacturers to talk about their products and what the difference was and what we saw the nation going towards in the hard hat versus safety helmets. This topic took off like wildfire across the country. You saw everybody doing this and following suit with bringing this information out. We had filmed our meeting and put it up on YouTube. It went viral. It went around, people getting that information and using the information that was available to it. So that turned out to be a very good meeting for us and a platform that we put out nationwide. In April, we prepped for our stand down for falls. And by prepping, we want to look at the next month. What are you going to be focusing on the next month? And how do you start getting that information out there available? We also covered driver safety and work zone safety. There was horrific accidents that had happened around that exact same time with work zone safety and driver safety. What are we doing for our barricades and how are we putting that information out there to slow down in those construction zones? Then in May, we actually held our stand down for falls, went to different job sites, worked with our members and getting that information out. For our meeting, we held mental health in construction. That was a video conference with Brandon Anderson from AGC of Missouri. He came in and through our teams meeting and gave us a talk on mental health in construction. In June, we covered trench safety, 811, call before you dig. Doug Meeks, running the damage prevention council over there, sat down and went over our training on trench safety. We had recently had a trench collapse in Texas, so that was fresh on the minds of everybody and how we could better do safety on the job sites when it comes to trench safety. So that was pertinent as well. We set up our training with UTSA with Dr. K. He was doing the Susan Hardwood grant. We were covering extreme temps and heat illness. So if you've never done the training that is set up through the Susan Hardwood grant, look into that. That's paid for training that you can get provided at your location and to your employees. Or if you're a part of an association, we have that type of training that comes on and is set up for us here. July, we had a repeat. We had a request. We had behavioral safety, family health, and whole life health. This was training brought on by one of our members. It had been given the year prior. Everyone loved that training, and they asked if that could come back again. We held our first flagger training. There was requests to have flagger training in the area for those that have to shut down lanes of traffic to get your work done. So we had certification training set up for that. And we held our first safety social, where the members of our safety committee had a chance to get together and just put your hair down, talk about what's bothering you, what you're proud of, what's going on in your life and in your job sites. So that turned out well. Then August, we held our OSHA Safe and Sound, and we had the Williamson County Sheriff Department come in and talk about active attacker. What do you do on a job site if there is an active attacker situation going on? And then following out the full year in September, in OSHA, we held our OSHA update with Joanne from OSHA. She came out and talked to us. During the year, the things I also got accomplished, I went and attended 2 of the AGC safety conferences. Great information given out at those conferences. If you've not been to one, you get to get so much information on so many different levels. There, anything that you could think of, those are great conferences to attend. I did get to attend one of the national conferences. I got to sit in on how they grade your national safety awards and see how that process went through. That was very good. And I got to do one member manufacturing plant tour where I was invited out to the manufacturing plant for one of our members and got to see a world-class operation going on there. We held a spring and fall golf tournaments, clay shoots, a top golf mixer, our barbecue cook-off and rodeo, which that's coming up again here in October at the end of the month. If you haven't got a chance to do that, we actually host a rodeo and barbecue cook-off. Great time there. And we've had our holiday parties. And recently I just attended the AGC Houston shootout, which was for vets in construction. Another great event and to get our members to mix and mingle. And it was focused on our veterans that are out there for vets in construction. So far as training performed, we performed OSHA 30 classes, OSHA 10s, CPR and first aid, fork truck, MUPS, earth moving equipment, flagger, and then general safety and construction talks and leads to those members that wanted us to come out and speak to them on that. We still continued our job site safety audits, our OSHA partnerships, and our quarterly workers' comp group meetings. So been a busy year. Been really fun. I feel like we've had a lot of momentum moving forward. Proud to be here. Proud to serve you and get what you need to get your job done. And probably one of the other things we've done is we started our hashtag Build a Great Life. If you got any pictures out there that you're proud of your work, you show up to your job site, the sun's coming up nice and pretty, shining in on the structure you're building. You got those snapshots that you take. Hashtag it with Build a Great Life. You got good work that you've completed. Your electricians have run a great run of electric pipe. You've got a great architectural wall or feature that's completed in your job. Snap that picture on any social media platform and then hashtag it with Build a Great Life. We can collect those pictures together. I would love to be able to take the best of those pictures and maybe get a calendar started. That'd be great for job sites and keeping up in your trailer, right? So anyway, thank you all. It's been a great year. Look to do more and stay safe.